My name is Samiha. I'm going to present today a demonstration about CPR, and I'd like to ask you what does CPR stand for? Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Okay, it happens that the patient just suddenly gets a heart attack. Anybody, this is something that we can face in our daily life. You can see it in the market, in the mall, at school, at your workplace. It can happen anytime. So since we are PTTs, we need to know how to attend such situation. It is very crucial. It is life-threatening situation. That's why we have to act fast and efficiently. We don't have to take our time thinking. We just need to jump and do the necessary. When you see a person just falling in front of you, you have first to check, run to the person. You have to make sure that the environment is safe for you first. Because if you harm yourself, you won't be able to assist that person. It can be an accident site, so you have to cross the road safely. You have to check if there's nothing, no obstacles around you. If there are people, you have to push them away, ask them to go away, because that hinders also the breathing process for the patient. It will make it like gloomy and it will make it like less oxygen for him. We need to push everybody away. We keep sure that there is nothing toxic. There are no toxic fluids in front of you. It can be an electric shock, for example. Make sure there's no source of electricity around you so that you don't get the shock yourself. Okay?
Falling object also. Falling objects.
Or fallen objects, of course. It can be like in a mountain, no? So you have to make sure that there is nothing falling from the top. So as soon as you see a person just on the floor, you have to check whether he is breathing. So you run to the person, you go on the floor, and you have to tap on his shoulders and you scream. If you are alone in the site, first you check if the person is breathing, and then you act, you ask for help. So, hello? Can you hear me? What's your name? Can you hear me? There's no response. So, second step, I have to, maybe he's wearing tight clothes, I have to open or unzip the clothes to give him way, to breathe in case. And they have to check if he's actually breathing, because I checked whether he's conscious or not. So now we have to check whether he's breathing or not. How do we check the breathing? Either we have to check the chest elevation, the normal elevation we get in our chest while breathing. So for 10 seconds, you have to watch him. You can put your hand and see whether it's moving. There's no movement. So I can also check the respiration. So in that case, I get my face close to his mouth and see if there's any sign of breathing, like hot air, for example, coming out, or any sign. Third thing, this person can have a blockage in his mouth. So I need to open the mouth and check if there's anything blocking. In case I see something, what shall I do? Exactly. You have to do the choking. So in that case, all the process will change. But in my case, there's no blockage. So I have to run, ask for help, or ask anybody around me. So I shout straight and firmly, please call for help. What do we call for help?
911.
I didn't hear you. 911 is not here in Europe. That's in America. 911 is in America. That's what you see in the videos on YouTube. That's for America. In UAE, what do we call? 999. That's the
Emergency.
It's not emergency. Ambulance? No, it's not ambulance.
997.
999 is the number of whom? Police.
998.
999 is the police. If you call the police, they will forward you to the emergency centers. That's where they will ask for ambulance. Otherwise, if you want to, make it shorter, you can call 998. 998, that's the ambulance. So you directly talk to the ambulance service. 998. That's how we call for ambulance. You need to know these numbers in UAE because 991, for example, is electricity. 992 is water service. So you need to know these numbers in case of any emergency that you need. Okay. Anyways, if you don't know it, you call 999. 999 is the police. So you call for help, and I will go for the scenario which is just manual resuscitation. Normally there's AED as well with it. It goes hand in hand with the manual resuscitation. AED stands for automated external defibrillator. It is a small device. It is available everywhere in UAE. It's an advanced country, so you'll find it everywhere. You need to pay attention now because you are healthcare professionals. Wherever you go, you need to keep your eyes on AEDs. You find them on the walls sometimes, you know. So it's just a box. It's mentioned AED, defibrillator. So in case of emergency, you run to that place and you get the AED next to you. So one time you do the CPR and then you use the AED. The AED, you use the machine, you open it, it will give you directions by voice. It will give you, the steps that you need to do. The help that it provides, it gives the electric shocks to the heart. Of course, while using it, we have to be very careful because while it's doing its job, we have to be clear away from the patient so that we don't get ourselves electrified. And it will tell you anyways, keep away from the patient. Once it gives the shock, it will tell you now it's safe to do the CPR. So it does its job and then I start the compressions. In my case, I have no AED. So I will go with the manual CPR, the normal thing, okay? So we check if the patient is conscious, we check the breathing, there's nothing. So straight away we have to start the CPR. We have to do it fast, at the rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute. Yes, it has to be fast and it has to be firm. And you do it without thinking, without waiting for anything, because the patient can die. Time matters, okay? So how do we do the CPR? You just come under his arms for you and you see the line passing between the nipples. It is actually the lower part of the sternum, okay? It's the middle bone which unites all the ribs in the middle. So the sternum, you come to the bottom part of it, you put one hand and the other supports it. The other thing is that your elbow shouldn't move. It has to be straight. It has to be straight. So, and you start giving the compressions. How many compressions we give? 30. I won't be able to count and do the compression, so you count for me. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 30. I finish the 30 compressions right away without waiting. I have to open the airway of the patient. So you put one hand on the forehead, the other one is here. You just tilt the head. You tilt the head. So you tilt the head like this. You close the mouth. Otherwise, if you blow in the mouth and the nose is open, the air will come out. Okay? So you open the mouth and you close the nose. You do 2 breaths. You give a short break between them so that you check if he actually breathes. So,
Yeah, we need to see this one.
there's no breathing, there's only lipstick on his lips. So I do again. 30. I do the breathing again, okay? So the patient is, no, nothing? It's only him, right? I'm sorry for him. So, patient, if it happens that he awakes and he breathes, what shall I do? In which position? Which position? Side. It has a name. Recovery position. It is called recovery position. Okay? But in case he doesn't move, he doesn't breathe, what shall I do? We need to continue. For how long?
Until they don't wake up.
If he doesn't wake up,
Then
okay.
we'll
We need to do the compressions and the breaths alternatively for half an hour till 45 minutes. Some people say till 40 minutes, which is very exhausting, especially if you're not a fit PTT. If you're a smoker, you cannot go for it. You know, like this is really a long period of time. So if there's more than one expert on the site who can do CPR, better if you alternate. So you take a breath, you take a rest, and your colleague can do it. You keep doing it while we receive help. Once the professionals come here, we are khalas, our job is done. Mind that in UAE, it's not allowed to interfere and do CPR. This is for your knowledge for those who don't know. If the patient dies, you'll be investigated. Okay? So, in case we said we went for the scenario that the patient didn't breathe, unfortunately, but in case he breathes, we need to put him on the recovery. Okay, do you know how to do it?
Yes.
But I need a normal. Come, Indika, come. Because his arms, this one, do not flex. He's not moving, he's already dead. So I put the cadaver next to me and I get an alive one. Huh? Yalla.
Yalla,
You
lay
can
down.
Bring the sheet. Bring the sheet. No mouth to mouth, Indika, huh? Bye. Okay, so this is my patient. This is my patient. He started breathing. So actually I have to be close enough to him. Okay, so first thing, he's going to turn to that side. There are two ways to do it. So you either push the patient or you pull him. So in case I'm going to push the patient, this arm, I have to put it on his shoulder. This one has to be just on the level of the elbow, okay? On the level of the shoulder. It has to be like 90 degrees. This one, he's going to bend it. So I bend this leg. Okay, and I turn him. Okay, but there's something missing. Even if he started breathing, if I leave him like this, he will stop breathing. I have to open the airway. Okay? So you just open the airway, you keep waiting for the air to come in and out. Okay, so this is the pushing, the pulling. Pulling, okay. Let's say it's a female, this is for male, for example. For female, we cross the arms on the chest. Why?
Safety.
To protect the breast. A lady, we need to protect the breast. And I bend this leg because he's going to bend it on my side. So I bend the opposite leg, okay? And I pull him. I find this technique much easier because you pull instead of exerting power and you pushing the patient, and also it minimizes also any movement, like you know, a lot of movements for the patient. We try to avoid it when he is unconscious. He may have a broken maybe bones or something, maybe muscles, tears in the muscles. So we have to avoid moving the patient a lot. This is the CPR. I just forgot to mention that while doing the compressions, we have to do it 2 inches deep. Okay, for adults, for children as well, 2 inches deep. And for infants, less than 4 weeks, 1.5 inches. Thank you.